But yeah, as I was saying, Sunday, during the Final Fantasy IV episode, I talked about the fact that for every game in the marathon, I wanted to make a tier list of the characters, and not only for power, but for like how interesting they are. Because earlier games, especially, didn't have a lot of lore for the characters, but as the series progressed, then they got more and more interesting. So I thought about grouping the first three games together because there's not much to say really. Like you can see, the first Final Fantasy, there's only three characters because for whatever reason, there's two Warriors of Light there. Because I built this and I saved it, and it didn't save the order. It was like all over the place, so I had to do that in a hurry before stream. So we could either do that now, or we can play game first and then do that once there are more people here. Because I know some people wanted to take part into the making of the tier list, so depends. I know Yet was one of them. Firion is S rank. This is something else we're gonna have to talk about, like S, A, B, C, and D. Like, how are we gonna rate them? Like per game, or the three games combined, or for the whole series, or because some characters would move. Because in my opinion, there might not even be a single S tier character in there. Not even sure about A, so. Onion Knights are probably the worst in my opinion, but let's not spoil anything. But yeah. So these are Final Fantasy 1, and I have a website open because some of the characters are just too similar, especially in 3. So just to be sure I have the right name, but these are Final Fantasy 1. This is Final Fantasy 2 ending at Rickard, I believe. So the Emperor should be here. Like I said, the order got messed up. For later, alright. So if we start about the Warriors of Light in Final Fantasy 1. Okay, yeah, before, I'm gonna rate them like the three games combined, because Final Fantasy 1's characters, they're all kind of lame. They're just there. They're like C. They're not awful, they're not bad, but they're just there. Like the story's not really that fleshed out, so if we want some higher rated characters, I kind of have to do that. So what I'll do is, the best characters of the bunch is going to be an S tier, even though it's not S if we compare other games. But apart from that, they're going to be always compared to him. Because I think there's only one that stands out. Unless you guys disagree, and that's why I want to make that on stream. Because I want your guys' opinion. So Warriors of Light. Yeah, it would have no franchise, but as characters, they're kind of just there. Like, you start the game, you speak with the king, like, we need the bridge to go on our adventure to do whatever, and he's like, alright, I can build the bridge if you go and save my daughter. That's how it starts. So you go and you fight Garland, which should be here for whatever reason. And then you come back, he builds the bridge, and you go on your adventure to eventually kill Garland again, but as Chaos, which is, story-wise, it's kind of a neat story, I guess. It's the first game, and there's like a twist at the end. That's fine. It's not mind-blowing, but it's fine. But the characters themselves, they don't do anything special. They just go through the dungeons, they fight, they win, they save the crystals. That's basically it. So yeah, they're just there. So I mean, I can't say they're D because again, they're not awful, but they're just there. So this is the same thing. So we're just gonna ignore that. This is Princess Sarah, the first Princess Sarah in Final Fantasy 1. She gets abducted. We save her, and then she gives us. She's the one who gives us the loot, right? She's the one who gives us the loot. So she's useful, because we need that loot to finish our quest. But once this is done, again, she's just there. So she's definitely not as interesting as them, because they're the protagonists, but yeah, she's kind of lower C, I guess. And yeah, this tier list is gonna be pretty lame, but starting from 4, that's gonna be interesting, because 4 has bangers characters, so does 5, 6, and so on. But we gotta do this one too. Garland. Garland is like here, because he's just the best swordsman, and all of a sudden he just abducts the princess. You don't really know why, and he's feared by everybody, but then you beat him. But then he's kind of tied to chaos, because it's him. He just comes back. He creates this time loop where he just comes back every single time. That's why we need to go kind of back in time or forward in time. I'm not sure I remember, to kill him there. So yeah, he's got something interesting going for him if you combine it with chaos. So I think I'd just do that. Like, these two are kind of tied together, and the two of them are just more interesting, I guess. But I'm not sure I would quite put them at B, because it's not really fleshed out in the story in the game. So yeah, it's kind of... Characters were not a thing really back in the days. Which brings us to Final Fantasy II. The characters actually have names. So Firion, Maria, Guy Speaks Beaver, and Leon. These are 4 people. You start the game, you play as them, you get your ass kicked. And then you wake up, and I don't remember the name of the town, but with Princess Hilda, I believe, who is here. She helped you, and now you work for the Resistance or the Rebellion, I don't know. And eventually you start your journey. Without Leon. Because something happens with Leon. You get roasted by the Black Knights. Yeah, that's not even a close fight. Like, it's just, it's over before it's even starting. But yeah, Firion, I mean, I guess they are more fleshed out than these ones, so they're going to B tier. Guy is just, in my opinion, comic relief, especially with the Guy Speaks Beaver. It's like, how can we do that bit? Oh, let's just say he speaks Beaver. But he's strong. Maria is interesting as well. More than Firion, in my opinion. Because she's Leon's sister. So she has a bond with that guy. And she's definitely hot. Look at that Amano heart. But again, not a ton of things, but she does have her bond with Leon, which makes her interesting. She's slightly more fleshed out than the others. Again, this is from what I remember. So maybe you guys remember something different. But again, they were just starting to do things. And then there's Leon. This is the only one I'm gonna put in S tier. It's not really an S tier character, but compared to the others, he kinda is. Because remember, Maria is his sister, and he's with his 2 buddies. They get their ass kicked, and now he works for the Emperor. You kinda say, he's Proto-Cain. Hey Seth, how are you doing? He's like, yeah, I work for the Emperor now. But even at the end, like, he's feared. But even at the end, he's like, alright, I'm gonna help you. We need to kill the Emperor and eventually save the world. But once this is done, he's like, nah, whatever. I'm going on my own. Just screw you guys. Even his sister, which they have a good relationship together. Like, I just think it's interesting. Like, his view of the world completely fucking changed. And he's not coming back to where he was at the start. Like, he just really changed. Did a 180 turn. And I just think it's interesting. And the fact that he's that feared knight or whatnot, or like Seth says, Proto-Cain. Lots of stairs, that's fine, man. I get it. I moved people quite a few times. At least you can take some breaks and be with me. With us, I mean. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna put him here. Again, he's not comparable to Cloud or Sephiroth or Kefka, but for the ones we have on the list, I think he's just better compared to the others. Alright, next is Cid from Final Fantasy II. He's kind of a... he's just there for the plot, basically. Like he's got the airship, and he's just basically the airship guy, like in a lot of games, but he doesn't really do much more than that. He's just there, he gives you the airship again. Early on you can get a ride to go more quickly to some towns, and then at one point he comes and gets you, and like, he's definitely doing stuff. I think he's doing more stuff than Guy, honestly. But again, not impressive. His relation to Ardyn, I don't know about that, but I'm interested, man. Because I didn't play Dissidia. Ardyn is 15's villain, right? Okay, yeah, now that's interesting. They were on Darkness' side. Okay, I didn't know there was a link between the two, making him even more interesting. But that came after the game, so. All right, Minwu, Yosef, Gordon, and Layla. They're the temporary party members you get that are meaningful. Minwu is useful at the start, and then she helps to unseal Ultima, which in the end is not as powerful that they make it believe, but actually pretty useful again, because we need that for the plot to move forward and to actually have a shot at saving the world, lore-wise, of course, so pretty useful. Mobile Dissidia, is that still a thing, or is that game gone now? While I rate Yosef, I mean, Yosef gives us the hovercraft and then dies like squished by a boulder. There's not much to him. Oh, I see what they did with Dissidia. That's a good idea, like some characters sharing like big events in their lives, like Rydia and Seymour, and they have different perspective about it. That's interesting. Oh, man with a machine gun. Alright, so Yosef, I don't know, just here because he's not that impactful, really. Same goes for Gordon, but Gordon is more impactful than him because he's a prince or king, I'm not sure. Once you take the city with the castle back, he's there with Princess Hilda. So again, some impact on the story, but not too much. Seymour, I mean, he's not the main antagonist, but when a game has an antagonist that just keeps coming back and asking for more, Seymour is pretty high up there. At the start, he's kind of likable. He makes sense, you know. When you're at that Mi'ihen operation, and the guy is just, I think it's Waka, he's like, but they're using Makinas, it's against the teaching. And he's like, just pretend you didn't see it. It's like, they want to kill Sin. It really makes sense. So later on, when you see that he's evil, and all he did, and why he did it, there's like a dichotomy of your feelings. Like, it's a well-made character, so I agree. But we're not rating 10 yet. from his point of view, he's not evil. He just wants to save the world. Because he's an unsent. And he doesn't feel pain, he's not suffering, so in his mind, nobody's gonna be suffering anymore. But I just think he just wants power, and sin is the most powerful thing out there. That's just my guess, and I mean, he wants to kill people, so a bunch of them would go to the far plane anyway, so. Or turn into fiends or so. I don't know. In my mind, he's evil. He wants to kill Chaos. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna play this game, so we won't be able to rate Jack Garland. I would have to make a separate tier for him. The Z tier. Because he's just in a t-shirt. Never liked his look. But I didn't play the game, so I can't really appreciate him for what he is. Alright, next is Layla. I don't know why, but I really have a soft spot for Layla. I know she's a waifu. I don't think she's as impactful as Sid, but I like her more. The pirate thing, and yeah, I just like her. It's my tier list. Make your own. Okay, this is Princess Hilda. I'm gonna put her right next to Gordon. No, above Guy. Guy, he's not really doing much in my mind. She's the one who saves you from the attack early on, the ambush, and she's the one who allows you to actually go on an adventure. And she's impactful. She's there with us quite a lot, even better than Sid, I think. She's just commanding people, but he has a hand in almost everything in the game. So, impactful character, but kind of bland, like, if you just look at her, but she's doing a lot. So I would put her there. And no A tiers for now, but... And we get Rickard. The Last Dragoon. They made such a big deal of that guy, but... Again... Not... I don't like him. He's just not memorable to me. Which brings us to the Emperor. I mean, there's two versions of him. The final boss and the one you beat in like 2 hits. I'm just gonna combine both. He's the antagonist. He's doing a shit ton in the game. Is he a good antagonist? He's orchestrating a lot of things. I don't know. He's gonna be... He's Darth Vader, kinda, yeah. I kinda want to put him in A tier for all he does. Like, he comes back from the dead, like, he lets you kill him so he can rule over hell and then comes back. That's kinda badass. So I'm gonna put him there. So, Final Fantasy III. We're almost done. Onion Knights. Moving on. They're just horrible. They do nothing. They're there. You drop in, especially if you don't play the 3DS version, which added some backstory to them. They gave the characters names like Lunette, Ark, and I don't know the others. And they have relationships with Dash and I don't remember her name, Sarah and Arya. They kind of have some weird relationships, but it's... I'm talking about the OG game or Pixel Remaster, because that's the one I played. They're kind of bad characters, there's nothing to them. Crystal is like, yeah, you're the chosen one. And that's the only time you ever talk about them. Oh! Thanks. That's appreciated, but if you want, I ordered one. If you want to wait, because when I get it, I'm going to show you guys like the quality of it, thickness and whatnot. That's why I'm not talking about it. If you want to wait, then you'll at least have a better idea, because I've never ordered that kind of thing from there. So we'll see. So, the next characters, Sarah, Arya, Dash, they're like the temporary characters that join you and defend the crystal. If this was just for that, I would kind of put them in C. But right at the end, when you fight the Emperor, before fighting the Cloud of Darkness, I mean, it's when you fight the Cloud of Darkness, you get your ass kicked, and then you get trapped. But they help you because they are from some sort of like special line of people. So with their help, you can actually damage and beat the Cloud of Darkness. So they are important to the story. So for that reason, I'm gonna put them in C. But they're like plot devices more than anything. Where's the other one? There, Dash. And Sid, Homeless Sid. Oh, this was Sid from Final Fantasy 3. Yeah, okay, it's the right one. Yeah, Lumi's Anthem. Again, that guy is just... Take my airship! Go to the Jinn Cavern, you come back. Take my airship and crash it into the rocks. Oh, I want to see my daughter. He's kinda lame. So I want to put him in C tier. Not that guy. This guy. Yeah, I really want to do the 4, 5, 6 and so on, but I have to do this one too, just so I have the full set.
Darling.
Oh yeah, Sylvando. Hey, Yet! How are you doing? Nice way to enter the stream. We're just tier listing, we're almost done with this one. So, okay, these guys are pretty darn important. And they are the first characters, I believe, who are really fleshed out in any Final Fantasy game. Because they have a backstory, and they're Doga and Unai. Doga is... he's a mage, he's got big powers. I'm gonna open up the wiki. And he supports you, like, throughout the whole story, basically. But yeah, he studied with Great Mage, he's a Great Mage himself. And he allows you to wake up Unai, who's another super strong character, lore-wise. And they knew each other before. And later on, you have to kill them to unlock something, the way forward to the final boss. But their spirit can't be destroyed because they're that badass. And their spirit gives you the Circus Tower key and the Eureka key where you can find super strong equipment. And even at the end, Unai is the one who goes and his spirit actually goes get everybody's like dash and so on, just so you can finally go and beat the Cloud of Darkness because you're kind of trapped. He helps you that way. So they're really, really good characters. They're fleshed out. So I want to put them there. Like that. Because they have a backstory, like they were already incredible before the events of the story started. And they kept delivering. What do you mean you're feeling dead inside? Don't say that. That guy. He's one of the nicest guy here and oh, I'm dead inside. No, you're great. Cheer up, mate. You know we like you. Alright, last two. Sandy and Cloud of Darkness. Sandy kind of wants to destroy the world for whatever reason. And for that, he just basically does his thing like alone on this side. You barely hear about him until you fight him. But then he summoned the Cloud of Darkness, so you hear about that guy throughout the game. He's hyped up, he's strong, he's fearful, but he's kind of a letdown. So... but still, there's something to that character. But then he summons the real final boss, which is the Cloud of Darkness. which is the lamest shit ever. It's just so bad. It's almost like Necron, but actually this one is actually talked about first, like forehand. You know about the Cloud of Darkness, I believe Zanny tells you. But then he summons it, and he's super strong, but then, like, plot devices again, and oh, he can actually beat it now. So, again, for the 3 games, my favorite character for the first 3 games is probably Leon. These 2 are kind of close. I have a soft spot for Layla, Maria, and then yeah, that's basically it. So I'm gonna add a marker here, and I'm gonna put that on YouTube eventually. I'm gonna try to make a playlist of all the tier lists for the marathon. Next one up is gonna be Final Fantasy IV, which is gonna be really interesting. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.